Hope you all are doing well. Just getting started on my morning bike ride. So this will be interesting this morning. So I'm trying my new camera out, which I'm excited about. Looks like it's a little shadowy, but it is still not really bright yet. And hold on a second. So this is usually below my temperature tolerance. So I'm usually a fair weather biker, but I wanted to give this a try. It's about 48 degrees. And people that cycle probably can say, well, you don't have the right jacket, first of all, which they're right, I don't. And so I didn't want to go out and spend tons of money until I decided if I want to continue on my bike in the cold weather. We'll see. I'll do this a few times. Normally when I get started, I got a little more catching up with my breath, and after a couple miles then kind of settle in. But I've tried shooting a few other videos with my phone, and then I was like, and I have an older phone, so I had to make up my mind. What am I going to do? The video was okay off of my phone, but the audio didn't sound that great. So I'm hoping with the new camera I have better audio. Say, we'll find out. And but you know, the whole reason I want to do this is to encourage others to stay active once they get to a point where they may be whether you get up in the morning and go for a morning walk, or you're just active around the house. I think the thing that's important, you got to find what you want to do, but you also can't be afraid to try some new things. A couple things with biking. I'm sure a lot of you guys are been on a bike before and know your way around a bike, so excuse me if I become a little bit elementary about this, but I want to assume not everybody has. If you want to get on the road and do some cycling, there's several things to think about. Number one, your equipment, as far as what kind of bike you're going to need. Clothing, depends on if you're going to be in warm temperatures or cool or whatever. So, I mean, obviously with the internet now, you can just research yourself away and gain most of the knowledge you need to get yourself started. if you have a bike already, then that's great. If you don't have a bike, then my recommendation would be go visit a reputable cycle shop and talk to one of these folks. They're awesome. They have your interest in mind. They're not, I've found most of these people who have these shops have a real desire not just to sell bikes, but to help people get fitted in the right type of equipment. And so, yeah, even if you do research on the internet, I think it would be helpful to go into a shop and talk to them. And, you know, so the local bike shops is necessary too. And these guys don't have huge profit margins, and so yeah, I would do that. From a physical standpoint, getting on a bike, it can be very tiring, especially if you've not done it for a while. If you're going to go a little bit with me, so step into that. See a doctor, you know, go get a physical and see what you should and shouldn't do, because you don't want to get on a bike and start having problems, especially if you're a few miles away from home. So make sure you're okay. Anyways, if you decide that cycling is the thing for you, then start slow. You know, go in circles there, you know, do a mile or so through the neighborhood and get used to it. Not only just kind of getting an idea what you're physically capable of doing, but starting to get used to being on the road. I had my bike in the shop recently because it broke down. I was about 10 miles away. This silly thing broke down on me, and so fortunately I was able to limp home because my wife was at work and I didn't particularly want to walk the rest of the way home. It wasn't something that could be fixed with a flat, it wasn't a flat tire, it was a rear hub failed, and I'd never seen this problem before. I'm just guessing the bearing. It was just like being on, like it was, your chain acted as if it was getting ready to fall off. So initially when that happened, I thought that's what happened, is that the chain fell off. But it didn't. It was something other that I hadn't seen before. I'm not a bike mechanic. But I got home and of course did my YouTube research and found it was a rear hub failure. So I took it in to a awesome bike shop, and the guy got me fixed up, and it was a good thing I did, because here's the things like I wouldn't have known. First of all, you had to have special equipment to replace that, and I could have bought that, but my bike was purchased in 2006. It's a Moto Becane, and the bike mechanic, owner of the bike shop, said he really didn't think, or he wasn't sure if he could find a rear hub that would fit that wheel. You know, when you go look on the internet, it just talks about buying a rear hub. Never talks about them all being so distinctly different. And so, you know, I could have bought spent a couple $100 on equipment to do it, and then tried to order what I thought was a rear hub, got all this stuff apart, and new chain, and he just did a general tune-up on my bike. And I've done my own kind of tune-ups over the past 15 years, but nothing really like taking it into somebody that's been doing it for a living. And I will say the bike's really riding quite well. I'm very happy. It was well worth every bit of it, and made a new friend that is another bike enthusiast and seems to be pretty good with that. And he does group bikes, and I want to hook up with him. He said they do ride at night, and I'm not sure if I want to do that because it gets dark early right now, so I'm not sure if I'm going to do the night rides or not. It seems like you're adding an additional risk on the road. They have really nice bike lights that work kind of like a car light, and so they're bright. I mean, you can see. When you're out in the country and you got to figure people like me that are driving that when it's dark, I think there's an additional risk. I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that yet. But yeah. Anyways, I guess that's it for right now. Hey guys, hopefully you can hear me. Turn my GoPro around so you can see something other than my ugly mug. I'm on this, I think it's a state road route, but they go about 65 out through here, so I only have to travel about half a mile on here, then I can get off this road. But yeah, I don't like to spend too much time on these type of roads, but sometimes when you cross over you have to do so. You can see they do have a lot of respect for you. I have my lights on and they're not trying to hug me. They're getting out of the way, and I try to respect them and try to stay on the edge. So they're going to win any battle we get into. So yeah. Can't think of any dad jokes this morning. Maybe I will in a minute. Shortly I'm going to be turning east and then be facing the sun, so I guess we're going to find out how the GoPro reacts to that direct sunlight. It may not turn out very well, but that's okay. It's a little bit of a test this morning, so at some point I want to get a remote mic attached to the camera and then attach that to me. But, you know, I would tell you guys, if you are trying to shoot video for YouTube, or if you're just wanting to shoot video for entertainment or whatever, you don't have to go spend $2,000 on day one to make it happen. You do have to have some equipment. My first few videos I shot with a decent webcam. And an older iPhone. Wasn't bad. Here's the two issues I have with it though. It's a narrow field of view, so it doesn't have a wide angle. You know, if you're just trying to put your face in front of it, that's fine. But if you're trying to capture an area like I am now, you can't easily. And then audio inside facing me was okay, but outside it didn't work. Now I'm not sure if the road noise is going to create a problem or not with this guy, so I'm going to find that out. But the biggest thing, the reason I want to upgrade for my action shots or whenever I'm moving around with the phone was stability. I didn't like when I was holding my iPhone and trying to walk around, it just didn't look good. So the GoPro is supposed to have awesome features for stability, for movement, to compensate. We're gonna find out. But from all the research that I did, you know, it seemed like it should. Now, do I have it set perfectly correct yet? I don't know. I struggled trying to decide what camera to get. Initially I thought about upgrading to like a iPhone 13, which would have been good enough for stability, I believe, and quality and everything else. So that was one route. Then initially thought it was going to be between that and the GoPro. Then the more research I did, I found out other companies were competing with GoPro. And so I had to look at those and kind of look at the pros and cons and cost and all this other stuff, you know. And my choice, so I didn't want to go spend the money to get a brand new Hero GoPro 14. I think it was 14, you know, and or 13, I can't remember. So I did my research and decided to get a 10. wanted to talk to you a little bit about my YouTube channel, How to Be 60. Check it out, please. It's the title I'm still thinking about, but I wanted people to find people that were 55, 60 or older, people that were soon to be leaving their primary workforce and going into a different phase of their life. And you know, some people are very excited about that. Others, I suppose, were very nervous about the idea. You know, what is it going to be like? And you know, like me, I didn't want to go home and retire, and I'm not. I don't like the word. I told you that before, so I won't use it in the context that, you know, that's what we're doing. What we're doing, in my opinion, is waking up with a purpose and finding that for each of you, and for every person that's different, whether it's devoted to full-time family work, grandchildren, etc., working a part-time job, full-time job, hobbies, crafts, exercise, you know, whatever it is. My whole purpose for doing this is, number one, is this is part of my own purpose. Because I wake up and I'm like, I want to help others with this part of their life and make sure that it's working for you. And at the same time, it gives me a purpose to deliver that message. So, you know, I'm not going to lie, I enjoy doing that. It's work. It's shooting and editing and trying to not be a big geek in doing so, which I think I mainly am. But I'm working to get better and hopefully make these interesting enough where you guys will stick around, subscribe, because I really want to hear from you and how it's going for you and what you're doing, and we could share as a, you know, community. And so we're out there. I know there's so many people in this stage of their life, because when I was in school in the United States, there were so many people in school. We had to have split sessions, and that's all we talked about was overpopulation. And that doesn't seem to be the case now. So I'm 62, so I know there's a lot of you out there between 55 and 90 that are still, or 95, waking up and saying, I'm not ready to throw in the towel. You know, I want to enjoy this part of my life, because, sorry, just on a hill there. Yeah. So yeah, check out my video. I'm gonna go a lot of different directions on my channel, from just talking about things like this, biking. I've got a couple videos, and probably be adding to making sourdough bread. It's a passion of mine. And I'm going to get into hiking, some of my other hobbies, and by no means am I trying to display what I do. It's really to encourage you, to give you some thought about what you can do with your time. And none of the stuff that I do, I would consider myself an expert, but I'm out there trying. You know, I'm trying to make it work. you know, there are days when I wake up and my wife goes off to work and it's raining outside and I'm feeling a little bit tired, and you know, I don't have the inspiration, so those days aren't as good. But so just being real. One thing for sure is this colder temperature has definitely had a slight impact on my breath when I'm cycling. Give me the sniffles too. I'd love to hear from other cyclists that go and do this and everything else. I think I'm just going to go about 15 miles today because I have some other things I need to do. That'll be good, because if I get home and find out all my camera work was junk, which I've found before, you know, I didn't want to be going 25 miles and shoot all this video and find out it didn't work. We're going to get on top of this hill here, and I'm going to turn facing west in the morning, and you're going to see why I like to be out here.